instead of just going down this brutal downward spiral of like, I don't know what to do and it's stressing me out, and then I get stressed out because I'm stressing out about what I don't know what I want to do. Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you clicked on this video, you're either one of two things. One, a loyal subscriber, which thank you. The second one is you're probably in your 20s and you're also lost in life. That's something that I've been experiencing really hard for like the past year. Questions like, what do I do? What's my dream job? Do I work a 9 to 5? Do I pursue entrepreneurship? Where do I live? Like, just all of these questions just come crashing in at once, and it's overwhelming. When you graduate from college, your life just isn't quite the same anymore. Your life isn't cleanly siphoned into semesters and trimesters with clear syllabi of what to expect and when exactly a phase or chapter of your life is going to end. You don't have friends that are within 10 to 15 minutes of walking distance anymore. The game is different. The crazy thing is that 40 to 50 years ago, the 20-somethings in that time didn't really have the issues that we're facing today. And I'm not just talking about because of the pandemic, but more just because people were expected to be parents in their early 20s. I think it was a lot more common back then to just graduate high school or graduate college and then start building a family right after. To me, as a 23-year-old in the 21st century, like, that's nuts. I could never see myself being a parent at 23. I can't even see myself being a parent at like 25. But believe it or not, that was the norm back then. Because of the shift of focusing on our careers more and having children later in life, buying houses later in life, like all this adulting stuff happening more in our 30s, the 20s are kind of just like a gray area of like, what the fuck do I do? And for me, I feel like the past month I've just been putting so much pressure on myself to really just figure it out. And then something clicked for me, and I actually realized that there's a chance that I'll probably be feeling this way, feeling lost, confused, for a very long time. The truth is, most of us probably won't be living in a loft with your 5 best friends or be traveling the world because, you know, you don't have that much income yet. And in your 20s, you're really just trying to crawl out of the space of just being a student, being a college student, and trying to get a little closer to being adult, or just figuring out what an adult is. Like, yes, you probably have all these bills to pay now, and you probably will want to find someone you want to spend the rest of your life with eventually, but is that really adulting? I'm not sure. I feel like adulting is not only those superficial things like getting a higher salary and being promoted and, you know, going grocery shopping and learning to cook for the first time. But I think a lot of adulting has to do with the emotional and spiritual and mental growth that comes along with age. Some people can grow older, but they never really grow up. And I know that in the grand scheme of things, your 20s really aren't the end-all be-all, and I really hope not, because if I'm still feeling super confused and lost in my 30s, then oh. The truth is, there's just a lot of stuff happening at once we graduate, and we really just have to take our time trying to figure stuff out little by little. Like, I can't expect to have my life figured out in my 20s when I literally have at least 40, 50 years left to live. So for the 20-somethings who are still trying to figure it out, I'm right there with you, and I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but honestly, I don't think we will ever figure it out. Instead of just going down this brutal downward spiral of like, I don't know what to do, and it's stressing me out, and then I get stressed out because I'm stressing out about what I don't know what I want to do. It's brutal, but I've decided to break this chain reaction by simply adopting this new mindset that I think could be helpful to you guys who are looking for some direction, and that is the beginner's mindset. So for those who are unfamiliar with what beginner's mindset is, it's having an attitude of openness, eagerness, and lack of preconceptions when studying a subject, even when studying at an advanced level. just as a beginner in that subject would. So what this basically means is that you're breaking down preconceived notions about life that you supposedly held or that you used to have, and you're really trying to re-question and refigure out everything and look at life at a different lens and hopefully gain a new perspective that you never once considered. So this could mean doing things that 5 or 6 years ago you would never have considered yourself doing. An example of that happening in my life is through YouTube. I never really had an interest in making videos or editing videos, and it all just kind of seemed like tedious work. But this past year I really took it upon myself to tear down what I thought making YouTube videos would be like, and it's honestly changed my life for the past 6 months that I've done it. I just watch YouTube videos differently now, and I have this newfound respect for creators who've been doing this for like years, because making YouTube videos is hard work. It's a lot of planning, a lot of creativity being used, and it takes a lot of time just to be able to create. Not only are you filming and editing videos, but you need to have sort of that creative muscle to power your YouTube channel, and I have to say that it's really grueling, and especially when you don't have an audience like me. I started in January with 0 subscribers, and now I actually have a couple hundred, which is absolutely wild. Thank you guys. But YouTube was initially only supposed to be a means of breaking out of my shell and maybe making some money out of it. I have to say though, when I approached YouTube with a beginner's mindset, I had a lot more fun just learning about how things work. And this doesn't have to apply to just YouTube, but really any interest or any hobby, any activity that you're considering taking up. To approach things with a beginner's mindset, you're going in with a clean slate, with an open mind. You start listening more instead of just trying to impose or inject your previous ideas of what said activity could have been like. For example, I know someone who wanted to play the guitar really badly because they thought that it would help him get girls. And what he didn't know is that when you play guitar continuously, you start building up like these ridiculous calluses on your fingers, and it actually hurts. So, but yeah, I think that's just something that comes along with the lifestyle of being a music player. I have to admit that I wasn't always someone who had a beginner's mindset, and honestly, I probably do inject some ideas of my own unintentionally or subconsciously, and that's something I'm definitely trying to work on, just not being as judgmental as I used to be, because I love giving my 2 cents, even though I know it's just probably not helpful and probably unsolicited, if anything. But by adopting a beginner's mindset, you will be open to the possibilities. You will form stronger bonds with the people around you because they see that you're interested in what they have to say. You're interested in what they're doing, and people love talking about themselves. So if you are interested in something that someone else is doing, and they're open to sharing what they have to say, I think that is honestly a great way to first learn more about something that you're interested in, and second, build a potentially strong friendship. Something that also comes along with being a beginner and having that mindset is recognizing that you are going to suck at things first. And I say first because that means you are not innately bad at something. You're just not good at it now. And this mindset is called the growth mindset. People used to think that intelligence and creativity, confidence were all innate abilities that we're just born with, and if you don't have it, you're screwed. But a psychologist called Carol Dweck actually made a book called Growth Mindset, I think. They made us read it in business school, but I didn't actually read it. But she made a point about how a growth mindset is actually necessary to succeed in life. You can't just try something for one day and think, oh, I'm bad at this, therefore I quit. Like, you usually have to give it some time before you can actually improve and see the difference between how you first started versus where you are now. Having a growth mindset means that you believe that even though you are not great at something now, there is room for improvement and you will be better. And once you get better at something, I believe you start to like it even more, because once you're good at something, once you're good at a sport, like volleyball. You have the tools, you have the abilities, the knowledge of the game, the rules. Chances are that something you enjoy doing right now is because you are good at it. But maybe you weren't always good at it and you had to actually put in some time and effort. And that was the case for me with basically anything in my life. I don't think I was a talented kid by any means, or I don't believe I was, but it took years of swimming to actually get somewhat decent at the sport. Even with YouTube, it's been 6 months since I picked up a camera, and I still don't think I'm good at YouTube, but I'm still putting in the work, being consistent, doing what I can. I know I'm not good, but I know that I can be better. And that's really the idea that I want to convey to you guys in your 20s. What's something that you're interested in, and what's something that you would like to be better at? Use these questions as sort of guidelines to help you get from point A to point B. Now, I can't guarantee that you'll have it all figured out in your 20s because I don't believe that, and that's probably just a lie. But by doing things more intentionally with your life in your 20s, by having more formative moments that will ultimately shape your experiences in your 30s and 40s, I think you can set yourself up really well for the future, and your future self will actually thank you for just trying these new things, setting a solid foundation for yourself. So I may not know anything now at the age of 23, but hopefully by the age of 30, I will have accumulated enough experience, enough years of just trying things and being bad at them and just failing all the time, just so I can be a little bit better and a little more informed than I was the day before. And ultimately, that's what matters. We tend to forget that we're all just little meat suits on a floating rock in space. When I start to take that into heart, it's like, I don't need to take things that seriously anymore. We're all going to the same place after we die, so we just need to be a little more lenient with ourselves, you know? Take off some of the pressure. I know you've probably been carrying a lot and you're trying to adult, you're trying to have everything figured out. And you will. Just maybe not today, not tomorrow, not in your 20s ever. But you can start at least. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more content related to this. Until then, take it easy.